Hi. So, welcome to another episode of Ask Before You Sign. Today, we are going to look at one of the most crucial parts of any property deal. The documents that seller must have ready for a smooth and legally safe transaction. Every document we go through will have an explanation, the common problems that occur, and the real life example. So it's easy to relate. So let's jump right away. We are analyzing it from a buyer and seller perspective. What this means is, when you are the buyer, you have to make sure these documents are ready. When you are the seller, you have to make sure that these documents are ready, so that the transaction moves smoothly. The first one is title deed. So what is it? Proof of legal ownership. This is the document that legally transferred the property to the seller. If the seller only has a copy, or the property changed his hands informally, the buyer has no legal protection. It means that if the seller only has a copy of the sale deed, you should be a little bit careful, because we have to make sure that it is an original copy. And suppose if it gets transferred from a father to son, and the actual transfer never occurred, and the father has 2 kids or 2 wives or 3 wives or 4 wives, then this whole thing gets complicated. So let's make sure that the title deed is in original form and it's in his name. And the simplest thing you can do in this transaction, let's take the cap of the buyer, so that we'll see easy for the analysis. So we will be talking this as a buyer. So you the very simplest thing you can do is, you can ask for it. Where is the original deed? I need to see. So you are the buyer, and your seller has to produce it. There is no workarounds for this one. And just let's also make sure that it is registered in his own name, not his wife. Then everything if it's in his wife's name, then she also has to be party to the sales that is going to happen. About sale deed, ask for the original one. Don't be satisfied with he has shown me a copy of the sale deed. Let's not get satisfied with that. Let's ask for the original one. Now the second one is encumbrance certificate. Encumbrance certificate is what you can say, on that property, is there any existing loans, charges that are existing from the financial institutions. See, any loan taken, the banks will register these kind of details to the revenue department. So revenue department knows. So if the property has a loan in it, I mean the legal loans, not the unofficial loans. Legal loans all will have ECs. So the easiest way to find out is, you can ask for EC for the last 15 years, ideally for 30 years. You can ask for it. Don't get satisfied with say, suppose some of the what I read from the scene is, some of the sellers will be producing 2-year 5-year EC. Don't get satisfied about that. Let's ask for, if I'm buying this property, I need 30 years of EC, 15 years of EC, and he can get it from BBMP office or revenue department. I don't know exactly, but it is very doable, and it takes around 3-4 days, and very few amount of bucks as fees. After seeing the sale deed, the next document you should be aware is encumbrance certificate, and it has to be minimum 15 to 30 years of history should be there, so that we can make sure that there is no what problem it can occur is, if there is something that is missing in EC, or something that we missed out in EC, then it can be a problem when the other bank trying to give you the loan. So one mistake here can delay the loan in future that you are going to take, or whatever that is going to happen. Then the next is property tax receipts. Property tax is are simply the taxes that one has to pay to the local bodies. Here, obviously, BBMP in Bangalore case, at least you verify for the last 2 years that all the receipts are with him, and also the property taxes receipts carry the owner's name. So let's make sure that the seller's name is in that property receipt. So maybe we can know that, okay, it's another proof that he is the actual owner of the property. Now, if it's not there, what's the issue? It's gonna complicate the transaction. If you are going to buy a property, it's better that it's in his name. The next is Kata certificate. Kata certificate also Pata, and it's also called RTC. I did not know what is RTC, but when it has the report I read says that if it's in village, you should ask for RTC. Now coming back to this Kata certificate, what it means is legal identification of the property in the local government's revenue records needed for registration, loans, and approvals. Complexity. There is categories of Kata, A Kata, B Kata. If you have seen some of the advertisements in, you will say this is a B Kata property, E Kata property, and A Kata property. The ideal is you go for the A Kata property. I think the price will be a little bit higher, but at least you know that, okay, you are buying a good deal. In B Kata, what happens is it's also a grey kind of area. It is also legal. You can get the loan for it, housing loan and everything for it, but it can be tricky. So if you are buying a B Kata property, just make sure that you are walking into a good deal, not a trap. And there is also E Kata also is there, but I have not researched about it. As far as I know, if it's A, you go for it. If it's B, you should stop and think, then go for it. If it's other, I have no idea. Better not go there. Then, so the fifth thing is occupancy certificate. Occupancy certificate is government issued certificate that confirms the building is complete and fit to occupy. So what happens is, I think for the occupancy certificate, the builder has to pay for something to the government. I don't know if it's the fees or something like that. It has to be paid. I have not researched about it, but it is there. It has to. So some of the builders might skip. Maybe if the occupancy certificate has to be given, the government will ask, you fix the fire safety systems or something like that. It all increases the cost to the builder. So he may try to skip it. Not all the builders. Some of the builders may skip it. And if that happens and you are buying a property, it makes your stay technically illegal. Say suppose you are living in a property where the occupancy certificate is not received from the BBMP, you are basically living in a place which is technically illegal. Okay, now coming back to the impact of this one is, so one day BBMP or Bescom can come into your apartment and disconnect the electricity. Hey, you don't have OC here, so I cannot give you electricity. I'm going to cut your electricity, and they will go away. So do not skip this. No OC, no home loan, no sale, and high legal risk. And technically you are doing a bad thing. So let's not go there. Occupancy, if occupancy is not there, well, don't go into that transaction. Now, bidding plan sanction and approval. This one is, let's say, the builder submits for 2 BHK, and he prepares the without informing the taking the approval, he builds something else. So he asked for 2, but he is building 3. Now this can be a problem on a later date. Say without knowing that, say someone else X comes and purchases the property, 3 BHK, he pays the amount of, I'm getting a 3 BHK for the price of 2 BHK, this is a great deal and all. But when the government comes and says, hey, I did not approve for this, who built this thing? And the next thing is, the government can issue a demolition certificate. So how to check is very simple. There is a plan that is submitted for approval and approved, and there is actual building plan. It should match. It should not be deviating. Maybe I don't know if it's small deviations are allowed, but ideally both should be the same, and you can even ask for it. Check out actual concession with the sanctioned plan, not the brochure plan and all. So in the brochure and all, they may say easily 3 BHK and all, but you have to check this 3 BHK is also in the actual construction plan, which is also the sanctioned plan. You can ask for it, and the builder has to submit, show it to you. Now the next one is possession certificate. Shows the builder hand over the plot to the seller, record for loan, mutation, and society transfer. If missing, this can the banks may not recognize the seller's ownership. Where this happens is, you are buying a property from, suppose there is a X the builder, Y the seller of the property right now, and you are going to buy the property. Now what happens is, if the X if the Y has the all the sale deed, everything is there, but no possession certificate is there, it means that the seller has oh, I made it a mess. I think I'll repeat it. X the buyer. Okay, let's give it a name. Okay, Pink Builders build a pink house. Pink house is owned by Cat, and Cat is selling to the dog, and the dog is going to buy the property, but Cat has all the documents except possession certificate. Where should the Cat should get the possession certificate from? It should get it from the Pink Builders. So Pink Builders has not given the possession certificate to Cat, but the transaction, everything is went smooth, and the Cat has the sale deed and everything. But this can, the possession certificate, if it's not there, or allotment letter is not there, then it can be a issue when the dog is trying to buy the property, and the dog is submitting the property for his housing loan for the property. Then the dog's banks will may ask, Bobo, where is the bank? Sorry, I was trying to be funny. It may ask, Bobo bank will ask, where is your possession certificate? We cannot give you the cage without you showing the possession certificate. The cat is simply, faking it, or I don't know. The dog is doomed, I think. So the cat has to show the possession certificate to the dog. Now next is no objection certificate. No objection certificate, legal clearance from the authorities, electricity, water, fire, etc. in apartments, also in society NOC. Society NOC means the local society, local apartment society. It means that the builder often forget and say that's not required. It's just a small thing. You don't have to worry about it, because they don't have to worry about it. You only are going to live there. You have to worry about it. So we have to be careful. If the NOCs are very important. These are like big headache in small form. It may be a single page, but the headache it can last for months and weeks and years. So ask for society NOC, electricity board NOC, water NOC, and whatever the NOCs you want to know, you just ask. Maximum worst thing can happen is they will say that is not required, but at least you can be sure that, right? So then is utility bill. Utility bills is like the recent bills you can go for, and you can ask for the recent bills. One thing I have seen, one is like there is a Bescom bill, and the bill was into 1 lakh, and the thing was he was not paid the bill for couple of months, and it accumulated. So arrears must be there. So make sure that you are fathering a child, that is you're providing for a kid that is your child, not for someone else. So make sure that that property, whatever the property, electricity bill, everything is there. It is whoever used is already paid, and when you are taking, you should be taking it from the zero. All the pending and everything should be paid from the owner itself. And make sure let's not come into a surprise on a later date. And the next thing is sale agreement. Sale agreement is like how the transaction. This is where one funny thing is. I know John for a long time. He will trust me. I trust him like my soul. He's like my brother to me. But no, John never thinks like your brother. He will kick your butt. So make sure that all that John said is in words. So if you are the buyer and John is the seller, make sure John follows John and you are on the same page. Maybe John will be thinking something else and you will be thinking something else, and all this nonsense can be turned into arguments, all this nonsense on a later date. So whatever it is, make it in the writing. It's very safe, very simple. All that maybe you will have to visit a lawyer or somebody who can make the agreement, or you can contact me. I will make it for you. I will make a good agreement. No, not me making. So when you want specific terms in agreement, you just make it and put it into writing, and it always safe when it is written. So let's not argue over the smaller things in future time. It will save your time. You put 1 day or 2 days of effort into the sale agreement, how the agreement you are going to do with the seller, and you being the buyer. Just make sure that you are getting, you are committing a deal that you can follow through. Optional documents, important specific is power of attorney, court orders and all. If they're ideally, you should, if you're suppose if you're not a commercial person or somebody who's just want to have a peaceful transaction, if some property is related with the court orders and all, ideally you should not go there. Why take headache? So loan closure letter from and NOC from the bank if the house had or apartment had a loan earlier, and mutation document is, I think, if the property is converted from B to A kata, something like that. I do not know it fully, so let's talk about it on a later date. So this is the documents you have to check when you are buying a property. So let's go through again. Title deed, then encumbrance certificate, property tax receipt, khata certificate, occupancy certificate, building plan sanction approval, then possession certificate, no objection certificate, utility bills, then sale agreement draft, and then option documents like power of attorney, court orders, loan closure letters, and then plus NOC from the bank, mutation documents. That's it. This is the seller documents checklist. Trust me, every single paper matters. It can save hell lot of time on a later date. So if you are buying, ask for this. If you are selling, keep them ready. And in next video, we'll even go into the more details into it and how the transaction happens and all. But this checklist, you can even ask. If you are buying a property, you can ask them, show me these properties. Otherwise, I will not give you a penny. And mostly the buyer will always show these kind of things. And remember, I don't know, I forgot actually. Okay, let's see you in the next episode. So bye guys. Ask before you sign. What a name.